And the culture and community of those people that weren't doing it for fame, they weren't doing it for Instagram, they were doing it because they wanted to get into a group of people with into a room of a group of people that were just as competitive as them, put something on the board and race to see who was faster. That was a really cool environment and culture. So I kind of see it like it's trended back towards that. Like, yeah, we have the established people like Noah and Travis and our team and all of that stuff, but now it's like, all right, well, now it's an opportunity to find like young, hungry, talent, people that want to compete in masters. People are doing it for like purely passion, and I like that personally. I'd like to find those people to help build, and then hopefully the sport keeps growing, and then now we have the new Travises and the new Noahs of whatever's created in the future. So,
right. Yeah, we did the competitors camp. What was that, last week? And you, whatever it was, you were talking about like the benefits of competing, regardless. Mention that. I feel like people would be interested to hear that at the camp.
I mean, I think that life experiences in general, period, teach you about yourself. And most people's lives they're pretty routine, especially you have a job, 9 to 5, you do the same thing every week, you know, same type of social things, movies, this, that. They don't really have any like profound, intense moments in their life that aren't like traumatic experiences, like my dog died, or, you know, find out somebody you love got a disease or something like shitty and traumatic. Competition kind of gives you the ability to triumph and win, which is cool, but more often than not, if like in a competition of 400,000 people where one is winning, that means that 398,000 people are losing and dealing with adverse situations and facing their insecurities. And that process, I think, not only shows you about yourself, teaches you humility, teaches you discipline, like, okay, this didn't go the way I wanted. Now my actions in the future have to be different and have to be disciplined if I want to create a different experience moving forward. So it teaches you that type of stuff. It teaches you work ethic. I think it just evolves you and gives you an opportunity to grow into a better person. And most people don't have the opportunity to do sports after high school or after college. And there are certain sports, CrossFit being one of them. I guess golf could potentially be lumped in there.
Ultimate
maybe like
frizz.
Pickup basketball, ultimate frisbee. But CrossFit's cool because it gives you an opportunity
Spike ball.
Yeah, there you go. It gives you an opportunity to do that without, and like improve your body and do all that stuff without like a full-time commitment or without needing to turn it into your profession and do it. So I think that I think competition is always a good thing in people's lives.
Is there a case to be made for the people that I'm just doing this for fun? Like, what is the difference that I can guess, but I want to hear you say it. What is the difference between, I'm just doing this for fun, what you get out of it going that route, which is okay, versus I'm going to take it serious? Do you see what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Like, what do you get out? What is better about this stack? Maybe not better, but different in a positive way than just doing it for fun.
So I'm doing it, I guess, quote unquote, for fun this year, like more so than any other year in my life. But my version of fun
You just said you never did.
Huh? No, I did in 2011.
Okay.
When I was trying to make regionals.
Back in the 80s.
When I did make regionals.
Didn't you go to the games once?
As a team, though. That was before regionals.
We don't count that.
Yeah, I agree.
Just kidding.
Travis
we count it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyone's out there.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought now. Where was I?
I said, what's
fun. But my version of fun is competing. So like I have competitions in here.
So let's go ahead and, your version of fun.
Yeah.
So now answer it.
The other version of fun, I think, is just going into it with no expectations and doing the workout so that you could be involved in a community. That. I think what you get
takes
out
the
of,
pressure off you.
I think what you get out of that is just connection. But I don't think that exists if you don't have other people in your community and your culture that are being competitive, so that you can relieve the pressure on yourself relative to what the pressure that other competitive person is putting on themselves. Because you look at that and you're like, oh, that's not comfortable. I don't want to be there. But I'm going to do it without that pressure on myself, and I'm just going to like be a part of the community. I think you just get two totally different things out of it. I don't think the fun experience helps you grow as a person. I just think it's helps you connect, helps you be part of the community. It's like getting a participation medal in sports. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. I'm just not necessarily interested in, I don't think it's possible to really coach those people because they don't have any like, hey, this is what's your goal? Have fun. Like, all right, well, You don't need to be good. You don't need to be better than you were last year. Just go in and just do it. Like,
do you think there's a lot of people who should just take that leap then? Learn something about themselves?
I think you should always take a leap.
How do you know if you should stay in the fun camp?
Yeah. I think, here, you know for sure if you've tried being competitive once. Go into it and try to
Here's another, let me break you up right there. I think people hear competitive and they think going to win and being like in the mix, so to say, rather than the difference of fun and like, okay, now I'm taking it serious.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I think they get hung up when you say competitive, competitor, competition. They think, oh, that means I'm trying to win.
No. I mean, I look at competitive as, yes, you are trying to compete against your fellow humans. So if you're in the female division, your other females, or your males, your other males. Like, yes, that's part of being competitive and trying to win. But there's also the aspect of being competitive relative to your past self. Where'd you finish on the leaderboard last year? What can you do better? Where did you finish on a lift relative to your lifetime PR? Where did you finish? How did you hold your paces relative to what your strategy and your execution on your first, like when you sat down and said, okay, I want to hold 1,000 cals per hour on this workout, no matter how tired I get. That's a competitive mind stage. Just going into it, trying to be your best, trying to be disciplined, and trying to hold yourself accountable to that. There's only so many people that have like the golden bodies, like the goods to be able to be the winners. But I don't think that means that everybody else should just be like, well, I'm going to give up and not fight to be my best because this person's going to win. And I think that person wouldn't really get anything out of it if there weren't other people with a mind state that are disciplined to get after it and be their best in the first place. So I feel like it's being surrounded by a bunch of people that are all like, I'm fucking in this to give it everything I have. And maybe the healthy version of that is when it's all said and done and it's over, being at peace with whatever the outcome is, not beating yourself up, not overextending yourself and putting yourself to the point that you can get hurt, or just being like, it is what it is. Like, that's how good I am. Like, that's all I can do.
You think some of that is driven by people who are afraid of what they might learn when they take themselves a little more seriously?
Yeah, I mean, look,
it's like a bad mushroom trip.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know any of this.
Yeah, I think self-awareness is painful. And it's like people who know they're broke and don't want to look at their bank accounts. People that, know they ate like crap over the course of the weekend and don't want to get on the scales. Like, that level of measurement is a painful level of accountability that people don't want to face sometimes. And I think the same thing happens when you put a leaderboard up on something. It's like, you got to look at it, and maybe there's some cheating involved in like the structure, but like it's there. Your name's there, shows you where your score was, shows you where your placing was. That's hard for people that know that they're not going to be the best, that know that they're not going to be on the first page of the leaderboard.
You ever fell into that in any aspect? Like
me personally? Yeah. Mine is, so before when I said like why I didn't do the open, like I'm sure now looking back on it, I think a lot of the decisions I made not to do it, some of them were legitimate health concerns, but some of them were just purely pride. I went from like, I'm dedicated full time to try to be my best at this. Then I switched my mind state and I'm like, I want to be a coach. Now I start coaching people.
You can't do coach.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. And I saw their progress. I saw that they're now better than me. And now I'm trying to give them critical advice about how they could be better, knowing that I can't do what they're doing better than they can do it, which made me feel like a charlatan. And I'm like, well, how am I going to coach this person if they know that I'm not good relative to them? And then I got to the point that I realized, like, that's so stupid.
How did you get to that point? Did it just take the years going by? Like, I mean, is there something you could fast track to the person who's sitting there thinking, like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to face the reality of sucking and that fear? Is there something you could do to fast track it?
Lose
or is
more.
It just lose more?
Honestly, I think the first thing that I had to do was get my body back into a resilient state.